Have you ever wondered why two people can experience the exact same conversation and walk away with completely different thoughts? A boy might think a girl is interested because she smiled twice, while the girl simply believes she was being polite. A girl might think a boy is losing interest because he stopped texting for a day, while the boy believes nothing is wrong because he assumes everything is already understood. This isn't because one gender is smarter than the other. It's because our brains often interpret social signals through completely different psychological filters. Today, we're going to uncover the hidden psychology behind why boys and girls often misunderstand each other. And by the end of this video, you may start seeing your own relationships in a completely new way. The human brain is not designed to read minds. Instead, it constantly fills in missing information with assumptions based on previous experiences, emotions, and expectations. This psychological shortcut helps us make quick decisions, but it also creates misunderstandings. Imagine someone replies with a single word like, "okay." One person sees it as completely normal. Another person spends hours wondering if something is wrong. The message didn't change, but the interpretation did. This happens because our emotions influence our perception more than the actual facts. One of the biggest psychological differences in relationships is communication style. Many boys tend to communicate to solve problems, while many girls communicate to share emotions and build connection. This doesn't mean every boy or every girl behaves this way, but research has found these patterns are common. When someone says, "I had a terrible day," one person may immediately offer solutions while the other simply wants empathy. The result is frustration on both sides. One feels unappreciated for trying to help, while the other feels emotionally unheard. Another fascinating psychological principle is called confirmation bias. Once we believe something, our brain starts searching for evidence that proves we're right while ignoring evidence that proves us wrong. If a boy believes a girl isn't interested, he may ignore her compliments and only notice the times she seems distracted. If a girl believes a boy doesn't care anymore, she may overlook his small acts of kindness and focus only on his delayed replies. In reality, neither person is seeing the full picture. They're seeing the version of reality their brain has already decided to believe. Psychologists also talk about emotional investment. The more emotionally attached we become, the more sensitive our brain becomes to tiny changes in behavior. A delayed message that wouldn't matter from a stranger suddenly feels deeply meaningful when it comes from someone we like. Our imagination fills the silence with stories, most of which are completely false. The brain prefers certainty over uncertainty, even if it has to invent explanations. Another powerful concept is emotional mirroring. People naturally copy the emotions and body language of those around them. If someone smiles warmly, you're more likely to smile back. If someone becomes cold and distant, you may unconsciously do the same. This creates a cycle where both people believe the other person changed first, even though both are simply reacting to each other. Many relationships don't end because of one big mistake. They slowly drift apart because of small emotional reactions repeated over time. Confidence also plays an interesting psychological role. Genuine confidence isn't about acting superior or pretending not to care. It's about feeling secure in your own value. People are naturally drawn to those who appear emotionally stable because stability signals safety. On the other hand, constantly seeking reassurance or overthinking every interaction can create unnecessary tension. The healthiest relationships are built when both people have lives, goals, and identities outside of the relationship itself. The psychology of mystery is another topic people often misunderstand. Some believe playing hard to get always increases attraction, but the truth is much more complicated. Short periods of uncertainty can increase curiosity, but constant emotional games usually damage trust. The human brain enjoys solving mysteries, but it also needs consistency to feel emotionally safe. Attraction may begin with curiosity, but long-term relationships survive because of trust, honesty, and reliability. Another reason boys and girls misunderstand each other is that people often expect others to think exactly like they do. This is called the false consensus effect. We assume our feelings, priorities, and communication styles are normal, so we expect everyone else to react the same way. When they don't, we think they're confusing, insensitive, or dishonest. In reality, they're simply processing the world differently. Social media has made this even more complicated. Every like, view, follow, and reply becomes a psychological clue that people try to decode. Was that story posted for me? Why did they like someone else's picture but not mine? Why are they online but not replying? Most of these questions have simple explanations, but the emotional brain loves creating dramatic stories. Psychologists call this pattern catastrophizing, where the mind automatically imagines the worst possible explanation without real evidence. Healthy relationships depend on emotional intelligence more than perfect communication. Emotional intelligence means recognizing your own feelings before reacting to someone else's behavior. Instead of assuming the worst, emotionally intelligent people ask questions, seek clarification, and give others the benefit of the doubt. This reduces unnecessary conflict and builds stronger trust over time. Perhaps the most important psychological truth is that nobody wants to feel misunderstood. Every person wants to feel respected, valued, and accepted for who they are. When we stop trying to win arguments and start trying to understand each other, relationships become much stronger. The goal isn't to prove who's right. The goal is to understand why the other person sees the world differently. So the next time someone sends a short reply, forgets to text first, seems unusually quiet, or reacts differently than you expected, remember this. Human behavior is far more complicated than it appears on the surface. Instead of jumping to conclusions, pause for a moment and ask yourself whether you're reacting to facts or simply to the story your brain has created. That one question can completely change the way you understand attraction, relationships, and even yourself. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden psychology behind everyday relationships, make sure to subscribe because in the next video we'll uncover even more fascinating psychological secrets that influence attraction, emotions, confidence, and human behavior in ways most people never notice.